Hi, welcome to Practice with Kris. I'm Kris, and for today's practice, we'll go through some mindful movements to help prepare both body and mind for seated meditation. The inspiration for this practice is a 1-month global meditation challenge called Mindful in May. I'm participating as the leader of the Chicago team, along with more than 3,000 meditators who will dedicate 10 minutes of meditation every day for the good folks at Charity Water. Clear minds for us, clean water for others. So let's begin. Let's begin lying on the back body. So take time to get comfortable as you arrive in the posture. Whether you're on the yoga mat or a blanket or a floor, it doesn't really matter. But once you come down, you can choose to either bend your knees with the soles of the feet on the floor. That might feel a little bit more comfortable for the lower back. You could also experiment with stretching the legs out long like you would in a final rest pose and see if that feels better. Then you can choose to place your hands, one on the chest, one on the belly. Sometimes it can be helpful to feel the sensation of the body moving into the hands as you control your breathing. It kind of gives a little bit of feedback. But if that's not comfortable, no worries. You can simply extend the arms out. Maybe try turning the palms face up, feeling a little more width possibly in the chest and shoulders. So once you find your pose, I'm going to bend my knees because that felt better for me today. And I will also choose to place my hands on my front body. So take some time here to simply feel the body. Maybe releasing the weight down towards the floor. And if it's comfortable here, you can begin to deepen your breath. As we begin to create space inside the body, notice here if you can begin to let go of anything that you don't need. Maybe relaxing the jaw, maybe softening the tongue. And begin to steady your gaze. If it's comfortable, you can close down the eyes. Or simply gaze softly at one point on the ceiling or down towards the nose. As you're ready, begin to bring your awareness onto the belly. On your next inhale, breathe into the belly, expanding it like a balloon. And as you exhale, simply relax the abdominals and maybe notice how the belly gently draws in towards the spine. A few more rounds of belly breaths. Inhale, expanding the belly. And exhale, releasing it. On your next inhale, add the second part of this breath. Inhale, expand the belly. Then notice how the rib cage maybe lifts and expands three-dimensionally, lengthening the breath here. And as you exhale again, simply release the breath. Maybe begin to notice how the breath now draws the rib cage in and down, and the belly again recedes in towards the back. Take a couple more breaths here. And then as you're ready, adding the third part of this 3-part breath. This time when you inhale, let the belly expand. Let the ribcage lift and expand. And then maybe begin working the breath into the chest, feeling widening in the collarbone, maybe. maybe even feeling the breath into the shoulders. And as you exhale, you can relax the body and watch as the breath takes the reverse direction. As the chest moves down, the rib cage also moves in and down. And again, at the end of the breath, the belly gently moves in towards the spine. A few more rounds of this 3-part full breath here. Maybe beginning to notice the surge of energy or oxygen coming in with each inhale. And maybe beginning to notice a release or a cleansing sensation with each exhale as you literally let go or release the CO2 in the body. A couple more breaths, inhaling what you need and exhaling what you don't. As you're ready, on an exhalation, completely let go of controlling the breath. Let the breath return to its natural rhythm. And just take a moment here to pause, feeling the body, maybe noticing any shifts to the activity of your mind. As you're ready, you can begin to come back to a nice, smooth, easy, even breath in and out of your nose. Inhale, lengthen both arms up over the head, reaching behind you. And as you exhale, engage the core muscles and draw both knees in towards the chest. You can wrap the arms around the knees or the shins, grabbing onto opposite hands, wrists, forearms, or elbows. And continue to soften your shoulder blades down towards the mat. You can gently draw the chin towards the chest, maybe feeling some length in the back of your neck here. If it feels comfortable, you can experiment with rolling from side to side, just gently massaging the back here. And if you're feeling any tension in the neck, maybe let the head follow the movement. Eventually, make your way onto the right side, drawing the knees a little closer in towards the chest and resting the right arm underneath the head. You can then use both palms to gently lift up, let the head roll up last. And then we'll find ourselves in this table posture where we bring the heels of the hands underneath the shoulders and the knees directly underneath the hips. If you have any wrist sensitivity, if you work on a computer, which is many of us, you may benefit from walking your hands slightly in front of the shoulders. So again, experiment, see what works for you. Wherever you are, slightly lift up against gravity as you simultaneously ground down through all 10 fingertips, heels of the hands, tops of the shins, and maybe even the tops of the ankles and the feet. Maintaining the structure of these 4 pillars, the arms and the legs. On your next exhale, start tucking your tailbone under, rounding the upper spine. Press the mat away from you and gently draw the chin in towards the chest. On your next inhale, start with the tailbone as you gently move it up towards the ceiling. Belly softens towards the floor. At the end of the inhale, gently squeeze the shoulder blades towards one another and gaze ahead. Again, the exhale, start with the tailbone, round the spine, drawing the chin towards the chest, but continue to lengthen it down towards the floor. Your inhale brings the tailbone up, belly down. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, gaze ahead. Now continue to move with the rhythm of your own breath. Maybe notice how quickly the mind wants to take over. And instead, let your breath lead the movement. If it's helpful, again, you may close down the eyes. Finish the cycle that you're on. And you're always welcome to take as much time here as you need. And on your next exhale, bring the big toes to touch. Press the mat away from you. Pull the belly in. Maintain this length in your side body as you reach the arms forward and extend the forehead towards the mat, coming into a child's pose. Especially if you're feeling a little higher in anxiety or the mind seems to be racing, staying here in this child's pose is a really good way to ground this energy, where you can focus on inhaling into the back body. And as you exhale, maybe try focusing on softening or releasing all of the weight down towards the floor. Now, if you're feeling like you just sat in front of your computer all day and you need a little bit of pep here, a little bit more of an invigorating posture, then you're always welcome to slide the hands forward, about shoulder width apart, tuck the toes under, and as you exhale, lift up and back into a downward facing dog. You can bend the knees generously at first, working the hips nice and high, pulling the belly and the rib cage in. Then you can maybe play around with pedaling out the feet. Again, just simply listen to your own body and what it may need here. Wherever you are, relax the neck and the head. This downward dog is actually an inversion, since the head is lower than the heart, which can be pretty invigorating or help give us that little pep that we may need. But both poses, child's pose and down dog, have that calming effect, which is going to be helpful to prepare us for meditation. So wherever you are, take a couple more breaths, and then eventually make your way up to a seated posture. So a couple options. You can bring the soles of the feet together in this bound angle pose, working the heels closer in towards the hips. And then take the time moving from side to side to feel your sit bones root into the floor. If this is a little too intense of an angle, you can also simply cross the legs at the shin and come into this easy cross-leg pose. But again, wherever you are, feel those sit bones grounded. And then you'll take the time to lengthen up out of those sit bones, maybe growing a little bit taller through the crown of your head. I'm going to come back to the bound angle. My hips want to get open here. And then if you are taking the bound angle pose, you could try interlacing your fingers and sliding them underneath the feet. And if that's not happening for you and you feel you're kind of rounding forward here, you could also grab onto the ankles. So again, we're looking for wide collarbones. Take the tops of the shoulder heads back and down. And bring the chin parallel to the floor. Wherever you are, maintain the length of your spine as you gently draw the chin in towards the chest. And on your next exhale, let the ear gently move towards the shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, opposite ear to opposite shoulder. Chin moves up. And then come into these half neck rotations, starting to let go of any tension that you might be carrying in your shoulders. Maybe try to isolate the movement in the neck, keeping the shoulders again back and down. And if it feels comfortable here, you can play around with opening up the circles, coming into these full neck rotations. You're always welcome to pause anywhere where you feel tension. Maybe actively send the breath to those places. And if you did take full rotations here, give yourself the time to reverse the direction. When you feel balanced, you can bring the head back up, resting here for a moment. And then placing the hands onto the shoulders, the fingers in front of you, the thumb behind, gently squeezing the elbows down towards the ribs. And next, inhale, take the elbows up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, squeeze them back and down. A couple more times here. Again, just releasing any stored tension up there. And if you are doing this after work and you've been sitting in front of a computer, this might feel really nice. Reversing the direction if you haven't already. Moving nice and slowly, and even though we're not pairing this with the breath, come back to noticing that smooth, easy, even breath in and out of your nose. When you're ready, you can release down. If you took bound angle pose here, take a moment, maybe stretch out the legs. You can pedal out the feet a little bit. And then we're going to find our seated posture for meditation. It's helpful if the knees are pitched higher than the hips. Like if you're coming to sit cross-legged, then see if you can raise yourself up onto a folded firm blanket, or if you do have a meditation cushion, that would be helpful. And then again, see if you can cross at the shins instead of your ankles. If you're feeling any sensitivity in your knee joints, make sure to flex the ankles here. And if you know that you're not going to be able to stay here for 10, 15 minutes, no worries. Set yourself up in a chair and just make sure that your ankles are stacked underneath your knees and your feet are firmly on the floor. Okay? So wherever you are, it will be helpful if you slightly tilt your pelvis forward, and then out of there, again, find your sit bones and lengthen up through the crown of your head. You can widen the collarbones, again, take the tops of the shoulder heads back and down, and simply rest your hands down onto your knees, your thighs, or maybe comfortably in your lap. Now that we've established our comfortable seat, it's time to meditate. For those of you who are using a guided audio recording like the ones included in Mindful in May, you can cue it here. And if you have your own practice, you may find it's helpful to set a timer so that you don't have to worry about when it's time to come out of your practice. And if you're not meditating, no big deal. You're welcome to just sit silently in the stillness you've created through your practice, maybe closing down the eyes again, or softly gazing at one point on the floor. Taking a few moments here to simply notice how it feels to be here now. When you're ready, you can take your time to softly, gently open your eyes. If you'd like to know more about meditation, you're always welcome to leave comments below. You can also visit my website at practicewithkris.com/mindfulinmay to learn more about the Mindful in May Global Meditation Challenge. It's been a pleasure. Until next time, my friends. Namaste.